Hey, welcome back, guys. This is going to be the last part in our procedural generation for our dungeon. And the only thing we have left to do is to fill up the rooms with stuff, right? Or objects, enemies. I'm going to give you the enemies example, and then you can just apply this to pretty much anything you want to put in the dungeon to make it even more random, right? So I already created a couple of things. Just, to make things faster. You've already seen me do all of these. So I created a square that's an enemy. Uh, sorry, square that's an enemy, a ranged enemy, and a spawner for our objects. Right. That's all we have. It's those three squares, an object spawner, and then two enemies. And then on the rooms, I made the spawner all over the place. I just put the spawn object all over random places. You go into all your rooms and you just go nuts, right? You just copy and you paste as many as you want, right? Now, the way you should go about this is you should have a spawner for each object or each object group. For example, for scenery, you should have one, like for statues, whatever, for like those mood pieces, right? The statues, the tables, whatever. And then you should have a spawner for your enemies, like for example for your ranged enemies. Then a spawner for like your melee enemies, or a spawner for like elite enemies or special enemies that drop like special stuff. And then you just populate the the room randomly with these spawners. But all you gotta do for design's sake is to make sure that, for example, scenery or breakables, you grab and you put here in the corners, right? Away from the action. That way, if the player wants to go interact with them or break them, like he goes to the corner of the room to try and break them or get them. So, yeah, that's all you really got to do. And to show you some more examples, if I go here on, for example, room left, and then three-way up, as you can tell, I did the exact same thing on every room. I just plastered a bunch of these, right? That's all I did. I didn't do any special secret sauce or anything. As you can tell, I just put a bunch of spawners on. It's just quicker than you watching me like copy paste a bunch of squares, right? Anyways, let's go on to our events. This is gonna be quick. Hopefully, it's not gonna be like an hour long. And I already set it up. So I went back to the scene thing. I didn't like the creating the initial scene with the external layout and doing all that jazz that wasn't really working. Like I would have to do resets on variables and so on, and I would have to do some more trialing to make sure it was solid without any bugs. And I don't like that. I honestly I hate doing stuff like that. If you want to reset the scene, just reset the scene. Just change it to the exact same scene you're on, and this is fine. Everything that like health and so on that you want to keep in memory, it's already in memory. It doesn't matter if you like use the same scene or change the scene. It's going to be stored in global variables anyways. So I don't get why people do this kind of stuff. So we're back to, we do a room check, and if the room check turns out negative, like if it collides with another room check, then we just change to the same scene we're on and we reset the scene. So we have it like this. At the very end, I'm going to show you all the events so you can like double check or copy paste, whatever it is you want to do. And we're also going to make a loading screen at the end, or give you the idea for a loading screen. Anyways, room interior. This is going to be where we put our stuff. So I'm going to do Shift D to add a sub event. And now I'm going to click on this. And now I'm going to not eat. I'm going to add a repeat. Add a repeat event. And let's see if it works this time. I was trying to do this last time. It didn't really work well. But I remembered why. remembered. I went to double check on my other project, and I was like, oh, that's what I forgot. Uh, so we're gonna do this thing, instances, and we're gonna check for scene instances count. We're gonna press that. Now we're gonna type in between the parentheses our spawn object. Spawn object. Is that what I called it? Yes. With a big O. So we're gonna do spawn object. And what this is gonna do is when we create the room, if there's 5 spawn objects, this is gonna turn into a 5. So it's gonna repeat for 5 times, 1 for each of the spawn objects. But we don't want to repeat for every single spawn object all the time, because then it's no longer random. It's just you get in the scene and you know, like the player knows, that it's going to be filled with 5 enemies. You don't want that, right? You want to walk into a room, it's like, oh, I wonder how many enemies and how many types and how many whatever, right? Is there going to be an elite? Is there going to be like a treasure goblin? Is there going to be something, awesome? So we're going to add randomness. We're going to do minus random in range. Random in range. And I can overcomplicate this, but let's do the simple way, which is between 0. So if there's 5, there's still going to be 5. Or between 0 and 3. So if there's 5 and this one rolls a 1, now there's 4. So 5 minus 1. Or if it rolls a 2, now it's 5 minus 2, which equals 3. So we have 3 enemies instead of 5 enemies, right? If you want to make this extremely dynamic, to always be, so you don't need to like adjust this. You don't have to be like, oh, how many spawn enemies do I have? Oh, is it 7? Oh, so I need to put to a total of 7, because otherwise there's going to be no enemies, or I have to do this. All right, no. We're gonna we're gonna put the thing here as well. This so it's gonna be 0, between 0 and open parenthesis. Or no, we don't open parentheses. So it's gonna be between 0 and scene instances. Scene instances of object spawn object. This is good. This is just gonna seem like a massive what the heck. No, I was right. It's gonna be between random in range 0, comma, then we open parenthesis, scene instances count, spawn object. Sorry, I was so excited. I started babbling. Minus 2. Minus 2. And then we close. Right. So what we have now, I keep wanting to say, what we have here is a failure to communicate. So what we have now is the first value, the number of objects in the scene, in the room. So let's say it's 5. And then it's going to do random in range between 0 and so if it's 0, then it's the same number, or between the same number of object spawners minus 2. So that it could be like 5 minus 2, which is 3. So it's always going to dynamically give you a range of stuff. I think this is the best way I can explain it, right? Basically, if you do it like this, you set it and forget it, right? Because if you have 10 objects, it's going to go between 10 and 10 minus 2, right? So it's always going to give you a range between those two, right? I think that's how it works. I'm sorry if that sounds too complicated. Just do the simple way. Just do a simple random in range between 0 and 3, and that'll be fine. Sorry, I got a little excited about numbers, and I geeked out a little bit. Um, right. So then underneath on the sub event, we're gonna do random in range. Not random in range. What the heck? I'm skipping a few steps. Scene number variable. Change the scene variable. And now we're gonna check. What do you mean object? Did I? Scene number variable. I must have misspelled something. The variable, let's call it enemy type. And we're gonna set the enemy type to random in range between 1 and 2. Okay. And now we're going to do yet another sub event. And I'm going to make it scene number variable. Number variable. Enemy type. Enemy type. And if it equals to 1, and now we need to add. Wait, is this the right thing? No, that's underneath on the room check. This one. Now we're gonna pick a random. Pick random. Pick a random object. And the object is gonna be spawn object. Spawn object. Right. So if it equals 1, we pick a random spawn object, and then we're gonna create object. No, not from its name. Create an object. Enemy. Let's create enemy at spawn object X, spawn object Y. As in, why the heck do I keep misspelling that? I think I've already made that joke, but it's still valid. And then we're gonna delete object. Object spawn object. Okay. And now we're gonna copy paste the entire thing. I'm gonna put it to 2. Everything else is the same, except we change enemy for ranged enemy. Right? And then we delete spawn object. Right. So we pick a random selection of spawn objects. We substitute the spawn objects for the enemies that we want, but then we have leftover spawn objects. So at the end of all of this, let me collapse that so I can create an event underneath. I'm going to make it big again. And I'm going to copy paste the delete the spawn object, and I'm going to put it to the underneath with no event, no condition. So the way the repeat thing works is that if you tell it to repeat 5 times, it's going to repeat 5 times the events and sub events before moving on to the next event on the list, right? So it's gonna do everything the number of times you tell it, and when it's done, when it's like, okay, I've already created all the enemies you want me to, then it's gonna move on to the next event, which says just delete all the spawn objects, right? So we delete all the leftovers, and then we move on with our lives, and then we create a new room with some new objects, spawn objects. Spawn objects then get picked, they create enemies, we delete the leftovers, and then we go again. We create new room, new spawn objects, create new enemies, and so on and so on. You get it, right? So just make sure we have this event to delete everything at the end. If my webcam's in the way, don't worry. I'll show you all the events at the end. Just make sure that, all this stuff is like in sub events and so on. So I'll just put a marker so you're able to tell where the events and sub events kind of happen. Kind of like this. Hopefully it's easy to see. But let's see if this works. So I'm going to zoom in. Because I don't think we're going to be able to see the squares. So we're just going to wander around a little bit. So let's make it 0.5. That should be visible, right? So we're going to make it big. Oh, this is cool. All right, let's wander around our dungeon. And as you can tell, we have a random assortment of enemies, right? And if you get here, we have a bunch of different enemies. Then we go here, again, bunch of different enemies. And I did make it somewhat the same number on all of them. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left. So this is also left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Right? This one is on and up. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? This is also an up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this one, right? So see, we're getting different numbers of of enemies. So if you go again, oh, that one reset. All right, so 1, 2, electric boogaloo. So this one only generated 2 of them, right? So this was like max roll, right? Because remember the condition is number of objects minus between 0 to maximum number of objects minus 2. Oh my god, that was so much easier to say. Why did it take me like half an hour to try and say this last time? Right? So we got the max roll of minus 2. It was number maximum number minus maximum number minus 2, which is 2. Yeah. My god. Wait, shouldn't it be the other way around? No. Oh, yeah, I screwed up. Because if it's like maximum number minus maximum number minus 2, then it's going to be minus 2. Right? So it needs to be plus 2. Oh, I need to change that afterwards. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have this downward thing. It has only 1 there in the corner. But yeah, so our dungeon is done, right? We populated it. It's random. We can move around. We don't really have any actions, so we can't really like shoot stuff or whatever. But yeah, we have our dungeon. How cool is this? Right. And with this, we're done with our mini series. If you made it all the way to the end, if you enjoyed this, well, we still need to do the loading screen, but you know, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed this, if this was helpful to you, if you like this kind of stuff, if you'd like to see more. Uh, you know, I'm sorry for all the babbling. My God, we keep getting the we reset. We keep getting the exit to the left, to the right. I mean, I know my sides. But yeah, and this is zoomed in. This is not completely zoomed in, so we still have some leeway to see where we're going. Oh, see, I went the wrong way. Ta-da! There's no collision, right? We didn't make any collision yet. But yeah, we got a game. So this, we need to adjust this. This is repeat for yada 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 +2. +2. There we go. And now we need to do the loading screen. All right. The loading screen is quite simple. We go to our main thing, and we're going to make a screen that's as big. Wait, how can I make this? Okay. It always starts like, oh, this is so easy. And then it's like, oh, maybe not. No, it is. We go like this. Black screen. We create something called the black screen. We double click. We edit with Le Piscal. We grab the paint bucket. We make it black. We overwrite. We hit new. We change the size. And we tick off the thing that says maintain aspect ratio. And now we change this to the size of our resolution. In my case, I'm doing this thing. The game is in 1280 by 720. The smaller number is always the height. The bigger number of your resolution is the width, right? So the width is the biggest. The height is the smallest. Okay. And we're gonna hit enter, and now we have this big black screen thing. I'm gonna hit save. I'm gonna edit the points, and I'm gonna change the center point to the origin point to the center point. There we go. So 640 to 360. It just says there, grayed out where the center is, so you just need to match the same numbers. I don't know who came up with that, but my God, you be the genius. I'm gonna hit apply, and now we're gonna go back to our events, and we're gonna make it so that at the beginning of the scene, we're gonna center camera, center camera, center the camera on an object. And it's gonna be our object, meaning ultra blue, our player. Number camera is 0, which is on the base layer. And then we're going to create object, black screen. Wait. We create the black screen. I'm such a moron. We create the black screen. Oh, dearie me. Wait, cancel. I'm such an idiot. It's like I shouldn't like try to program while making videos. It's like your brain doesn't work, doesn't process things. It's so hard to like program when you're on the spot. Origin 0, Y 0. I'm sorry if you're following along, but we make the origin 0, 0. I was gonna make this so much more complicated than it needs to be. The center of the camera is fine. We like that one. We always use that at the beginning of the scene to like instantly focus on the character, and then the smooth camera picks up. But we're also gonna create object, create an object. I'm gonna hit OK because this is a new game. Okay, we're gonna add a layer because I did not realize we did not have a layer. And we're going to call this UI or whatever. We're going to call this one loading. Right? And the loading layer is always going to be on top of every other layer. And now we're going to go to our create the object. And we're going to create black screen. Create black screen at position 0, Y 0 of loading screen. Of loading. I'm going to hit OK. So as the scene begins, we're going to instantly create. I'm going to put it on top of everything. We're going to instantly create a black screen. And then we're going to go to room generation, room interior. We don't need that anymore. Room generation? Oh, there we go. We're going to go to our room count for the exit. Where we create the exit, if the room count is bigger than 5, or if it's bigger than, basically, if we made it all the way to the end and it's ready to create the exit, then we're going to delete the object black screen. So at the very start, we create black screen. But then as the game gets to the very end and it's ready to create the final step, the exit, then it deletes the black screen because it's ready. See? It took so long, I'm guessing it had to reset one time. Oh no, it's finishing the dungeon. See? Because we made it with the timer so slow that it's loading. Right? It's creating the dungeon, and then when the dungeon's created and ready, that's when it deletes the... Oh, there we go. That was a reset. It flickered. Oh, that was a reset right at the end. So it's not working properly. So we need to take this, because maybe it was right at the end. Huh. So how do we go about this? Well, you get the idea, right? Where to put the black screen. But We could put a check that says, like, if this exists, but then why wouldn't this exist? How about uh so this only gets triggered once, right? It gets to the very end and it only gets triggered once. So here's what we're gonna do. Trigger once. We're gonna add a trigger once to this. And if it gets to greater than 5, we're gonna start a scene timer. Reset the scene timer. We're gonna call this loading. And okay. So if you get to the very end, we're gonna start a timer. Cool, cool. Cool, 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 cool. I already lost where I was. My eyes, man. There we go. So I'm gonna close all that. And now I'm gonna make a new event, scene timer. Value of a scene timer. The scene timer is loading. Oh, it's already there. We can just hit. And if it's greater than, let's say 1.5 seconds, right? To give it enough wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. If it's greater than 1.5, I'm such a moron. I was gonna do a paste the delete the object. We're gonna delete object black screen like that, and we're gonna delete the timer. Delete timer. Delete scene timer. Oh my god. Oh my god. Scene timer. There you go. Delete the scene timer. And the timer is loading. So if you get to the very end, we start the timer. If the timer goes above 1.5 seconds and nothing wrong has happened, then we delete the black screen. And the trigger once is important. Let's delete this. We don't need this. And now it should work. Let's see. Oh my god, it works so well. What's happening? Why is it not deleting? Why is it not going over 1.5? Oh dear. Oh dearie me. If loading is greater than 1.5 seconds, then delete and delete black screen. This part's correct. If the room count is bigger than 5, then we start the timer loading. And we trigger once. Why is... Is it because of this? It shouldn't be. Right? No, that has nothing to do with it. Okay. Why is the timer not rolling up? Why is the timer not going up? Did I put it in the wrong place? There shouldn't be an issue with this. You know what? I'm going to put the start timer down here. Because I'm going to put it there. Because it's going to keep resetting the timer. Going to take away the trigger once. So I put it down where we delete the spawners. Right? Because every time we generate a room, so it's all the way down there. Because every time we generate the room, we're resetting the timer. And at the end, if no room is being generated, there we go. It works. I am a genius. Huzzah! Yeah, because every time a new room is generated, the timer gets reset, right? So it's generating a room. Is everything okay? Yes. Then it gets reset and reset and reset. And at the end, if nothing wrong is happening, see? Then it rolls over. Cool. So we have a loading screen. So instead of having a black screen, you could type in like the words loading, you know? Whatever. You can do a little animation. But we have a loading screen. Oh my god, did I break the objects? Why is there no... Oh, there we go. Wait, was there objects before? Was I just tripping and not seeing any objects? Wait, what? What is going on? Why is there only one object? Did we just max roll on the object? Oh, no. I had it right before. No, I had it right before. Because minus with minus, that's a plus. Oh, see, that's why I'm not a mathematician. See, this was right before. Oh my god, why am I listening to you? You're such a moron. Where's the room interior? Room generation. Room interior. I had it right before. No, people who are good at math are like, you moron! It is -2. See, my subconscious is very smart, and he was telling me, you do this, you trust me, this is good math, right? But then I started thinking, and I took over, and my brain was like, no, believe me, trust me, you're right. It's like, don't do it. And I was like, no, I know better because I've thought about it. But no, this is the right way. It has to be -2 because we're subtracting. So I think that's how it works, right? Because you're subtracting. So then by doing it minus, you're actually doing the plus, right? That I'm trying to do. I don't know. It works, right? Yeah, there we go. So now we have a minimum of at least two. And before, I was taking all of them away. Yeah, there we go. Now it works. So every time I reset, see, now it's taking a bit longer because it was resetting. Uh, so the only thing we need now to finish this is to get rid of the timer. So this timer, we just had it here uh, to make it for us to see the procedural generation happening. But since we don't need it, oh my god, now I need to like take these things out one by one. So 1, 2. Yeah, I only made that timer for showcasing purposes. This one, the dungeon gen. So we get rid of the timer, and now it's going to generate every frame. And now everything is under dungeon generation. Yeah, like that. And we are finished. So when I press the start, it's going to generate super quick now. It's going to have at least 1.5 seconds. Because we gave it at the end. See, that one was super quick. So that means it got to the end really quick, and then there was nothing bad happening. See? Now we always get a loading screen. And no matter what happens, yeah, it's a really quick loading time. And we can make this even smaller, right? Because now the rooms are being generated so quick that we can say that if this timer, the loading screen, is bigger or equal to, I'd say 0.5 is good. We shouldn't see any bad stuff. See? It generates perfectly. And it's super quick. We get the 0.5 seconds as a little buffer in case something goes wrong. But other than that, we don't need more than that. 0.5 is more than enough because it's being reset every frame. Every frame, a new room is being created. Look at that. So nothing is happening. Nothing bad. To be sure of it, we can go and make the zoom really small. Which one is it? There we go. 0.1. And that's it. We are done. We're just going to have a look. That is still too big. But you can tell. It's fine. Everything's working. You can be more lenient with your loading screen, right? You can make it like 0.75 or whatever. But as you can tell, the rooms are being generated, the enemies are being generated, everything's being generated. And this is good. This is fine. There's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You might want to be a bit more generous with your enemies. Because otherwise, like with a minimum amount. Because look, that one has 6. and the next one has 1. So I think the gap is too big. Like the minimum gap. So in the room interior, I'll make it like so that the minimum is like 3. I don't know. You can mess with this. You can mess with the math behind it. Yeah, this is nicer now. I still think it's too many. But that's because, you know why it's too many? It's because I made too many spawners. I should take away a lot of these spawners. I just made too many just for showcasing. But there you go. So we're done. This works. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me show you all the events, and then that's it. We're done for the mini series. That was the movement. Dungeon generation. We start here. We open that. Holy Moses. That is a lot of events. We have these. Isn't there a thing that just says like open all events groups? I should have just done that, right? I also shot all of this in one day, so this is a lot of programming. Okay, there we go. I think I got it all. Man, this is a lot of programming for one day. So from the very start, it starts here, and then this is everything that we got so far. Hopefully I didn't forget to like open anything important. But you can see all the events. And the end. Right. If you watch all the way to the end, please subscribe, leave a comment, all that jazz. I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, awesome. If you learned something, even better. And I'll catch you guys on the next whatever it is I'm going to do. Right. Now I'm going to work a little bit on my game, and then I'm going to relax. Right. Till next time. Keep safe. Peace out, guys.